Ready when you are, sir.
All right. Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Sounds- it's so bad that you don't like. I can be doing whatever the fuck I want, and you can never be able to see me.
It
It's so annoying.
pisses me off,
I
honestly.
know. Anyway, welcome to the Catch Out podcast. As always, like to try and bring as much entertainment as possible when talking about dodgeball. If dodgeball wasn't enough entertainment already, as you can see, it's just the two of us today. Myself and Colin. Zoe is out doing Zoe things apparently. Um, so yeah, news on dodgeball. Is there any news? We need to like properly make this a segment at the beginning where we talk like catch up
This
on anything.
there actually is
There
a
is there
big
is
shout
news.
out, a big shout out to Dave Prestige for leaving the England coaching staff. Um, yeah, that was the one. I was the one I seen this week anyway, and I actually think that's a big loss for England. Because I
Yeah,
think Dave is an incredible coach,
yeah,
and just general nice person to have as part of a club community. As I've had him with both bees in Ireland, and he was missed whenever he left both of them, and I'm sure he'll also be missed massively from the England setup.
yeah. No, that's very well remembered. I say well remembered. It was only yesterday the news came out, I think. So,
Yeah, that's good. That's good for me. That's
but
fucking
yeah,
good for me.
yeah. No, it's congratulations on a good turn or nice
I thought you were
time
about to say
in
retirement, and I was like, come on, now,
retirement.
give him a bit of credit.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa,
Um,
whoa, whoa,
but no,
whoa, whoa.
I can vouch for him being a nice friendly face because he was actually the first person at Leeds I spoke to. When yeah, because there was a like 1 or 2 days where he was training at Leeds just before he moved back down after he
It's pretty
moved
poor
away from
showing from
Manchester.
Leeds that it's a fucking sheriff's guy. That's you're the
Well,
first person that spoke to you.
it was during warm-ups, and he just noticed I was wearing a mud shirt, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, I know who Muds are." And then
That's a thing.
yeah, it's like, "Hey,
I know that exists.
great way." So great icebreaker if you ever go into a new team's training is just wear like a kit from somewhere in dodgeball, and someone will recognize it.
Some old cretin will know
Are you
what
calling
the
David
proper
Cretton
word.
now? Heard it here first on the podcast.
No, but I'm calling him old.
Anyway, um, yeah. Other news. Twitch Dodgeball released a
Oh
schedule today,
yeah.
showing all the different dodgeball that they're showing throughout the world, which I think is actually pretty cool. I did have apprehensive feelings about British Dodgeball streaming stuff on Twitch with Twitch Dodgeball, but I think it's pretty good actually. I think it'll be good for people to see what we're doing over here and the community that we've got and the style and the level of play that we've got on our courts.
We've
Yeah,
also always said that we always wanted kind of like a video on demand library of a load of dodgeball matches, and something like that will always be a good start to it, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. So big up that one.
Pick up.
Big, big up. Um, that's also going on the soundboard for the future.
Oh no, honestly, I said so much random shit. I'm so screwed.
Uh, uh, I've got like all the clips that didn't go into the intro video from that recording that I still could use.
No, 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 no,
No,
no,
no.
no, no, no.
Um, yeah, the only other thing is dodgeball now in York. That's the other yeah.
I mean, the Leeds Dodgeball Club that's in
No,
York.
no, it's well, kind of, yeah, but it's
You
basically
plastered the Leeds Dodge fucking logo on it. This is
it's
the
because
bit
it
I
doesn't
don't
it's
get.
because York like it doesn't have its own logo yet, so they were just like, can you put
Yeah,
something up? I'm
but
like,
like,
sure.
yeah, but that was a bit weird. I love the concept, and I know you've had a close tie with like York Dodgeball Club before, right? Through Spike. So like,
Through
was
Spike.
was he not the one that was running
No, Hull.
dodgeball? Oh, was that Hull? Oh, okay, right. Sorry, I might have messed that one up.
Wow.
I know my shit. This is why you all listen.
Yeah, no, we've got
Just it's gonna take a drink after picking that one.
Nick, so Nick and Meg, who play for York or used to play for York Uni, they're still around in York as Nick's doing his degree up there. So, yeah, and we've got quite a few people who travel from York anyway, so it made sense to, start something over there as well. So, yeah, that's all I've got. That's all the news. Dodgeball news in one.
I wasn't sure if you'd actually say that.
Um, Yeah. Oh yeah, if you hadn't realised, Cole's gone back to 2020 where he's put the Zoom backgrounds on us.
Oh, basically, I don't want to show people the mess of a bedroom I have right now. So, because I've changed my camera angle, you might get to see it next week or whatever. We'll see how it goes. For this, I'd actually tidy up properly.
I mean, it's totally fair, but it's quite funny. Shall we actually get on to talk about some dodgeball now?
Maybe.
Maybe.
We could discuss Zoom backgrounds for a bit longer if you really
Zoom
fancy it.
backgrounds. What was
But
the write in the comments the OG Zoom background? Well, which is
actually,
the one?
if you want to send in some random backgrounds, I can do random shit if you want. As long as it's appropriate.
Each
That's
podcast,
coming from me.
Colin's gonna have like just a different background from now on.
It's gonna be my face on top of like a unicorn, and then I don't know, Aiden Rodall riding the back of it. Yeah, somebody do that. I'll be fucking. You know what? I'll have that as my background if somebody makes it. That's funny as fuck.
That would be brilliant. Okay, actually on some dodgeball now. Let's go.
Okay.
Right, results. So do Super League, men's Super League first. I can hardly actually see it now. Right, hang on. Just gotta
You
get
can
close to.
hardly see it.
Hang
So
on.
the first result
Let
is
me get close to the screen. I've got to put my glasses on and shit because I'm old now. Um,
honestly, we need you to get your second monitor ready.
yeah, really.
The first match that sticks out to me has got to be the B Spartans game.
Hmm.
I watched this earlier on, and I feel like B's kind of fell into the old trap of you're down 3 sets, and you're just, no matter how much you can claw your way back into it, it's just that just too far away score. You know what I mean? They kept closing it down to within a set, and then Spartans, being Spartans, were just very clinical and decisive with time, and we were able to play it out. So unfortunately, Bees weren't able to get anything out of the game. To be honest, Spartans were probably the better team overall. I felt like their throwing 2 balls whenever they had 3, like their 2-ball throwing was very accurate and strong. I'm not sure how Bees handled it that well. And I thought their post throws were very strong, very, very strong. And Bees didn't really know how to survive them. That was probably the main difference between the two sides. It was a very good game though. Highly recommend watching it.
Yeah,
And
like
the other,
go on.
sorry, go ahead. No, you were quiet.
Okay, fine. Yeah, no, it's just that it's like what we said on our first ever episode. Throwback there. So if a team gets like enough of a lead ahead, it forces the other team to sort of try and speed up the way that they're playing to try and claw it back. And you can see like Spartans got up, they were 8-4 at half time, so fair enough. Bees won that last set just before half time to bring it back from 8-2 to 8-4. But then you have half time, that disrupts your flow. Then you got to like bring it back again. Spartans just built up a lead. They got to 12-6, and then there's only just over 3.5 minutes left, which like it's doable. Like, but
especially
you've got to.
Spartans can play a really defensive dodgeball whenever they want to, and that's it's not what they did, but like that time wasting style dodgeball, like they can easily play into that. Like they're so good at surviving a lot of the time,
And
it's
that's not
whenever they
in a
go.
bad way. That's not in like
No,
a
no, no, no,
criticism.
no,
That
no.
is like that is good game management. Like they
Yeah,
can do that.
game management. That's the best way to put it. It was just really good game management, and they'd done the exact same in the Derby game as well. 15-9 to Spartans does not do justice to how tight that game is. It was there's two sets that sprung out to mind thinking about it. There was one where Derby were 2 sets behind. I think it might have been like 10-6, I want to say. And Derby were three players to one up against Neely at one point, and then basically threw it away. They started playing this defensive game. Robbie, I believe Robbie Winters, I want to say. I might have butchered the surname. I'm sorry. End up fishing. Your other guy, I think Tom Bell, I want to say his name is. End up getting hit, and Ed ended up having to take a 1-for-1. No, Neely. I think Neely might have made a catch after being hit by Ed, and then it was a 1-for-1 between Reese and Ed Raven, and Ed wasn't able to finish it off. That kind of just turned the game on its head, where it got a bit too far away from Derby. I think it was 11-7 then. And Derby just couldn't get that momentum back after that set. It just kind of took the wind out of their sails a bit. Although I think they might have actually won the next set in saying that. But it was a very good game to watch.
I think there's massive like that is to me that is one of the most impressive games I've seen for Spartans in the sense that like they were 6-2 down and then they won
I
out to
forgot about
get to
that. Yeah,
10-6 and then they draw and it's 11-7 like to be in that much of a hole and just like win through even through half time to keep that
yeah,
momentum going and just flip the match on its head like that. That is
mental, innit?
impressive. That is yeah, some top class dodgeball to be fair.
It shows the quality in their squad, but it's that mentality, like the mental resistance of no matter how much we're down, we can bring this back. Not a lot of teams will have that in their back pocket. You're probably the only other one that you've seen it happen almost guaranteed whenever they've been down, because to be fair, it rarely happens, is probably Meteors. I've seen them down 3, maybe even 4 sets sometimes in the first half, and then they're just like, right, boys, let's just go more aggressive and then just start battering teams. But yeah, not many teams have that in their back pocket.
Yeah, I will say though, like the fact that Derby went up 6-2 shows that they can do it. They can play well. They
But
can play to that standard. So I'd be interested to see what their return fixture looks like.
Derby's like drillness in how to play against each team is really impressive across all of their squads, like men, women, like how Simon and Jenna run it in terms of making sure every team knows exactly what they have to do in pretty much every situation. Fantastic. Like that, like the jump up from League One to Super League, seamless for them. And
Yeah,
I genuinely was surprised by it. I was expecting them to be quite far off the pace of the likes of your Spartans, Meteors, Bees, but they've given each one of them a really tough game and it's like if you think you're definitely gonna win, you have to fucking work your ass off to come at us, and they have, but I think they got hard done by the scoreline, to be honest, though.
yeah, no, definitely. I think the another game to well, two other games that caught my eye was I'll quickly talk about the Sheriff Storm game because I didn't get to see it, so I haven't actually got much to say on it. But
Yeah,
really
I
good
wasn't
result for
there.
Sheriffs. Like, because Storm, we'll get to the table in a second, but like Storm have pulled out some great results so far, but they have been so inconsistent in those results. Um, so
I'd,
Sheriff's
ag-
getting
I'd,
that
ag-
one
I'd
open.
agree with that. Yeah, I think a part of that is that their squad has been quite inconsistent as well.
Yeah, true. But it's still a great result for Sheriffs to do that, and in a
Massive,
much
massive.
needed
I
win.
think I think they I think they deserve to get some results like that, because I think they've played quite well in a lot of games that they've actually come out and lost. There's still a lot of quality in that squad. It's just getting that high level consistency going. So yeah, as like we didn't get to watch it. Unfortunately, I was ill at the last league, mate, so I could only really watch what is available online. But that's definitely a game I'm keen to watch at some point. And I'm hoping the other game you were looking to talk about was the big draw on the cards, because that was
Oh, West
a
6 and Storm 2.
fantastic game. Yeah,
I
Storm 2
just
and West
West
6.
6
I've
absolutely
never
bottled it.
seen a game. Oh,
Absolutely bottled it.
hugely,
You're
fucking
12-4 up.
massively.
You're 12-4 up in the second half. You're 4 sets clear. Like, so
Just
go watch that Spartans game on how to time manage. Learn how to do that and implement it into your game, and then you might be able to win out the next game.
what like I could watch that back, and other than probably complacency, I can't really put my like finger on exactly what went wrong. It just felt like they went from being really, you know, smart and aggressive to just taking the foot off the pedal. And it kind of reminded me of, do you remember whenever we played you? And we were like, we had a heavy scoreline, like a heavy lead, and we kind of just went like, right, boys, let's try and work on our, game management and seeing out the time a lot more. And then you won something like 3 or 4 sets in a row.
Yeah, the only thing that went right for us that time.
Yeah, we still won though.
Yeah.
We're not Wessex.
But like,
Let's make this a thing.
I know, but like,
Honestly,
in all
can't put them in.
seriousness, and I don't mean to be rude, like to
Yeah,
Wessex
be
or
rude.
whatever.
No,
Like,
no, just
no, no,
just
no.
attack them.
Like, I know a few people at Wessex. Can't be that rude to them. But like, there's just over 2 minutes left from what I can see on the stream. 12-8 up, and they were honestly 6-2 up in the set. They lost that
No
set.
shot.
They
No
lost that
shot.
set with like over 2 minutes. Timers are equal. So basically, all you have to do is see out this set. At the very least, if you lose it due to time, and you've won the goddamn match. You're 6-2 up, and you bottle it. Oh, that's painful.
That's so bad. Oh, I didn't even realize it was that bad.
Oh, that is rough. That is sad times to Wessex. But
You're doing great, boys.
yeah, it was one of those ones I didn't get to see. I remember at the time, like I didn't get to see it, and I was talking to people. And it's just one of those results that basically means that you're both kind of screwed at the bottom of the table now. We'll get onto the table in a second, but second half of those fixtures were pretty all one-sided. I don't think there are any surprises in those fixtures, so don't want to drag it on too much because I think that was pretty much all the good games. So if we look at the table, the only one that changes around is Rangers, but you see
Wow.
West 6 and Storm 2 are kind of stuck at the bottom. It depends what happens with Silverbacks because Silverbacks haven't got going either. But
yeah, I don't know. Silverbacks have played some really good stuff this year. I think they've been quite unlucky to
they've
be
actually
where they
won
are.
one, Colin. They've actually won one, whereas like the bottom two haven't.
Do you know what? I think if you win games, you tend to do better in a league table.
but this is what I mean, right? It's like that draw screws both of them up.
Oh, massively.
Because like if one of them got a win, they're Wessex is on 2, Storm are on 2, and then that bottom. No, sorry, Storm 2 are on 1 point, and it becomes a bit more of a dogfight. I think with where it is at the moment. I think Wessex needed that win. They should have held on for that win, and it would have made things a lot more exciting.
Yeah, Wessex really had to win that if they wanted to survive this season. I can't lie. Like there's no team I can see Wessex other than maybe Storm 2 and their repeat fixture.
Well, maybe Silverbacks. Like, I haven't really seen.
I've seen Silverbacks like pull out some really great sets against other teams.
Great sets, but not great results. Like they've been fairly one-sided. Like they're on minus 54.
They give Meteors a game. Like they had a genuine chance. Silverbacks, they had a genuine chance to beat Meteors in one of the league meets. It was a bit of an offset, like, but Um, like
Yeah,
they give them a hell of a game. Like there's a squad in there. Whereas I look at Storm 2 and Wessex, right, and I just don't see them beating anybody else. Whereas I could see Silverbacks like beating Storm 2, Wessex, that give Sheriffs or Storm on a bad day a game. Like again, because if they catch Storm on one of those inconsistent days, like they can
yeah,
get
true.
results.
I,
Like
I could see Wessex beating Silverbacks if they played like they did in the first half for that game against Storm
yeah,
2.
maybe. Like, but that's the one time you've seen it. Whereas I've seen it a
It's
few
true.
times for Silverbacks is my big difference, to be honest.
I guess the only thing like my counter to that logic wise is that you look at the sets four and there's only what 7.5 sets four difference between Wessex and Silverbacks, which means Silverbacks aren't on average scoring that many sets more than Wessex in every game.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I do think like against the big teams, like Silverbacks have usually taken a big beating. Like I can't lie.
Yeah,
Um, and
but
I think that Storm 2 score difference should be a lot bigger as well if the Killer Bees game wasn't as tight as it was.
hmm. But the interesting stuff's sort of like the top six really. Um, honestly, I put like I need to go back and listen to what you and Zoe said at the beginning of the season because I think it's shaping up much more like you guys were saying, like very much how you guys predicted.
I'm a
Um,
bit worried about the next league meet in terms of Killers staying top three potentially. I don't know what the Rangers and Storm fixtures are, but I know Bees have a tough set of
hmm.
fixtures. I think we have Meteors and I want to say Sheriffs maybe, because usually
Well,
who the
we'll see in a
usually
sec.
yeah. But anyway, well, it pretty much the top four is what we all predicted in Meteor, Spartans, Bees, Rangers,
Yeah.
with Storm, Sheriffs, Derby being the next set going down, and then Coventry, Storm, Wessex. I think we all kind of agreed with that. Where I think you predicted Rangers to be second, if memory serves.
No, I predicted the Rangers to be top.
Did you go top? Oh God, I didn't
Yeah.
think it was that bad.
Well, well, yeah. I mean, when you look at it, Bees are only one win behind Spartans and Meteors.
It's still so yeah, it's still super tight.
Like
Like
it's stupidly close. Rangers are in it. They're only two wins behind. They just need to actually basically win out. They need to win all their fixtures if they want to stand a chance.
yeah,
Um,
like you could argue that they should have done better against Storm whenever they played them, and
well,
stuff like that. You know,
this is the bit of Storm that I just don't get. Like Storm have beaten Spartans and Rangers. Spartans' only loss is to Storm, and I just can't get my head around that. Like
honestly, it's this league can be incredible at times, can it?
it's just it is stupid. Like for audio listeners, you got Meteors and Spartans tied at the top on 14 points. Killer Bees, Manchester behind on 12 points by one win behind, and then you got Bedford Rangers, Storm, and Storm both on 10 points with 5 wins, and then Sheriff's just behind them. So it's really tight between the top six, but just like yeah, the abilities of those teams, anyone arguably could be anyone on their day. Um, but it is mental that Meteors have lost to Spartans, Spartans have lost to Storm, and Storm have lost to others.
They're
Like
part
what
of it. They're part of a
Sheriffs?
triangle of like wins and losses
Yeah,
that like, but still aren't in the top three.
yeah, nuts, absolutely
But
nuts.
yeah, no, it's shaping up to be probably the most interesting league in terms of tightness. I from memory anyway.
I think it's going to be the most interesting for the top three for sure. Um,
Potentially top five. Depends. I'd be interested to see how Rangers and Storm keep
yeah,
going.
yeah. And Sheriffs, to be fair, because I feel like Sheriffs have just got better as the season's gone on. Like they've got,
I do. Yeah, I do agree with that.
but
Yeah.
I think they had Spartans and Meteors on the first day as well, so they were really rough. No, they didn't. No, Rangers had that, but I feel like they had a pretty rough start to the season in terms of fixtures, and then their fixtures sort of evened out a bit more. So they've gotten a bit further at the table, but yeah, I think
I
they've performed a bit better.
right fixtures.
Yeah.
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 Ooh, yeah.
So these are the first five matches are the last fixtures of the half of the season, and then the other five are return fixtures from last league meet.
Oh yeah, they're
Um,
doing it quite a weird way, aren't they?
they've done this for quite a while though, I think, haven't they? Like the
Yeah,
first,
I still think it's dumb.
it is a bit weird, yeah.
Not as dumb as the mixed league mates, where I've seen people having to play the same team twice in one day.
Oh yeah, that was horrible.
It's that kind of level.
Yep.
Um, right. Well, what are we looking at? What's the big fixtures here?
Well, to be fair, the second half it's basically the same as the second half of last league meet, which were a bit one-sided fixtures. So it's basically the last fixtures of the season or half of the season. So I mean, the big one for me is pretty obviously Killers and Meteors. I think that's pretty big.
Yeah,
Top of the
definitely.
table, top of table clash.
I'm
Um,
also very interested to see Spartans Derby again.
hmm.
Uh, I genuinely just think Derby, no matter who you put them up against, are always, you know, they always have the potential to cause an upset.
It's always interesting when these fixtures land at this time of year as well, because you've got like the winter bugs going around. Everyone's gone home to see family for Christmas. People might be ill. People might be a bit,
People have had mince pies.
yeah. People have a fair bit to drink. Like we'll see what everyone's how they're doing. Especially as these are evening games. So yeah, I think you're right. That Spartans Derby game could be pretty
Could be pretty
spicy.
tasty. Could be pretty tasty.
But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say on that. I think there's three main
Not
matches to
really.
watch. Other than I think it's being streamed on British Dodgeball again. But yeah, keep your eyes out for notices on that. All right.
I'm down to potentially commentate some games, so I do know that's probably going to go
Nice.
ahead.
I've reset this perfectly well.
Oh, it looks so beautiful.
I
Like
know.
just catching out blank.
Yeah. I don't know why that's being a pain in the ass.
Is that the right match to catch as well?
Yep, that is the right match to catch.
Probably.
Our match to catch
I'll
is.
be honest. I can't remember.
It's all right. You don't. You just have to turn up and look pretty, don't you? So it's all good.
Ah, thanks, babe.
Cool. Right. Well, after just doing that, I'm going to start with Bevers and his prediction of who he's predicting to win. Rangers. This is why it would be really
Um,
nice if the Neutral Zone dropped their podcast a little earlier, so we could listen to what their thoughts are on this. We get a little bit of understanding, knowledge of how sheriffs are feeling right now, and what sort of team sheets they're going to be putting out.
I'll ping Dave right now and
Yeah.
see if he responds.
Dave, you've not got England to worry about anymore, so just message us with the goss, please. Come on.
Should only be having Rangers on your mind right now, lad. Got it. I'll probably have to go Rangers, to be honest. It's a weird. Do you know what's really weird is that like no matter who you put Rangers against, right? I'll probably, I guess most squads I'll back them, right? But I could also very much see an upset because they just seem to come in so hot and cold, usually.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I, for that reason,
Oh, go on, do it.
actually
Go on. Celebrate Dave's England retirement by giving him.
I'm gonna go Sheriffs.
Yeah, yes,
I
yes, let's
still
go.
I still can't get over Rangers lost to Storm, and I'd love to. I just love to
That's where the
see.
hesitation comes, isn't it?
I
Like,
just
and
love to see that come back.
that's why I want. That's why I voted for this one for the match to catch because I always think Sheriffs have it in their locker, and I always think Rangers have it in them to have an off day. Like, and if the two align, it could be a very good match, a very very good match.
Yeah, definitely. Although I think Rangers have got Thomas back now because he was off injured, I believe, for that Storm game. Um,
Well, he came on for like the last three
Y-
sets.
Yeah, by which point Storm had already won, I think. So, but yeah, we'll see how Rangers do. Um, it could be an interesting one. Are they going to? Well, either way, it's a win-win for me, right? Because if they win, then they're on track for doing better this season, like I predicted. If they lose, then I've got my prediction right, and I win the prediction. That's my logic.
How
That's how
can you turn like a dodgeball prediction game into hedging your bets? Like how?
that's how I
How?
roll. That's how I roll.
That's how the
Uh,
cookie crumbles.
you should be using this by now with me. I will always try and like turn something to my advantage if I can.
Also, did we say that Zoe predicted Rangers as well?
Oh yeah, so for our audio listeners, so you predicted Rangers.
So yeah, that's really it's really important to Nick that you know
It's
this. You know,
really, really important that you
it's
understand
not
that
like she's the third member,
Zoe, Zoe, so that person that you haven't heard yet today, she voted for Rangers. Okay.
and in doing so, she has to take a shot wherever she is right now. I'll tell her this
Oh,
after.
go, go, guys, I don't even have the right. I'm
Which
start,
is neither of us are in the right headspace for this
no,
at all.
I,
This is a
I just
completely
accidentally started the intro again, so that's all fun.
See, I
Um,
can't hear it, so I have no idea. So,
no one can hear
you
it
know.
apart from our poor listeners.
Oh, bless them. Wait, can you not even hear it?
No, I can't hear it. I can't hear anything. It's just awkward silence. So if you didn't know already, like when it's the intro, like I'm sat here, I can't hear it, and you can't see me, so I'm just sat here like twiddling my thumbs, like it's the most awkward thing in the world. Anyway, here we go.
Men's League
The
One.
Men's League
Oh,
One.
what a smooth transition.
Oh, we know how to do segues. Linus Tech teach at your heart out. Um,
Oh dear, oh
I'll tell you
dear, oh
what though,
dear.
what a day of results. There's some interesting results in this one, in my opinion.
Yeah, the Spartans second team didn't have as quite a good a day as the first team did.
Yeah, not quite.
I think that's got to be the main talking point, right?
Yeah.
I think we're both walking away a bit happy with that one, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Maybe. Before we get onto those, I will say that Nighthawks nilling Sheriffs was impressive. Because Sheriffs aren't a bad team. Sheriffs
No,
2's.
I was actually watching their MK Cyclones game, the 15-9, and I thought they actually played really well against
They
MK.
did.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked to see that result. The 22-0 against Norwich Nighthawks. Like I'd expect Norwich to win that comfortably, but 22-0, like that's very impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, having because we were line reffing that MK Sheriff's game, that was
Yeah,
quite an interesting one to referee. Because like Sheriffs came out the blocks pretty hot, and then
they were like 2 or 3 sets up at the start,
yeah,
weren't
they
they?
were, and just MK managed to pull it together and sort it out. And I think Sheriffs just they're. I mean, I can't talk because we ended up losing by the same score later. But the way that I mean, to be fair, we never got ahead against MK. We were always behind. So, um, but yeah, Sheriffs changed up how they were attacking in the second half. I don't really know why. They started targeting different ones. There was, oh my God, it was so painful. So, rules, rules time. Um, if you go back on the stream, you'll see what happened. But essentially, there was a turnover in one of the later sets, right? And
Right.
those who are referees know what happens when there's a turnover. Go on. Like, what happens? Like, what is a turnover in dodgeball? Like, what is a ball retrieval error?
Turnover, like I don't know, it's ball retriever goes on court, touches the ball, and the other team chooses how many balls they want and stuff.
Exactly, and
Is that what you're talking about?
yeah, that's all that happens, right?
I
But
feel like I'm trying to get called out here, and
no,
I'm
no, no, no,
like,
no.
I get so
Well,
anxious about it.
this is the thing. Everyone seems to have been getting caught out on it lately because we were talking about this
Oh,
offline last time, right?
oh no, they didn't do what I think they've done.
Yep, the
Oh,
entire
they
team
opened
put
back
their
line.
foot on the back line
No,
and they were called
no.
out. Go back
I
on the stream.
to be fair, I absolutely hate that part of the rule because I've
Well,
seen so many teams get caught out by it. Because I do. I think it's dumb that the time doesn't stop and stuff like that
it's
whenever
a
it
good
happens.
job the rules have changed for this week, League Meet.
I did say that to be fair.
So now when a turnover occurs, the time will stop. But to explain what happened is there was a ball retriever error, and the referee asked how many balls they want. I think it was a ball retriever error so that sheriffs got the ball. So
Yeah,
sheriffs were saying how many balls they wanted. They obviously wanted all five. They got all five balls. And then Sam, bless him, was like in the box telling them to like go stand on the back line so that Mason could play again. Mason had literally just called out an MK player for doing the exact same thing and putting their foot on the back line. So I think it was a 2-on-3. Oh no, it wasn't. I think it was like a three on two or whatever. And Sheriffs had the opportunity to win the set, and then all the Sheriffs stepped on the back line, and because time's not been paused, they were all
yeah.
called out.
We nearly had the exact same thing happen to us. I think it might have been the Virtue game where there was a turnover. Is that what they're called now?
Yeah,
Um, and I think Sam might have been the only one that like touched the back line, and I screamed, "No, don't do it, don't do
yeah,
it!" from like behind the net.
yeah.
Oh, it was so, honestly so close.
It's
That's such
painful.
a shit. That's such a shit way to lose a set.
I'm glad that it's been fixed, but too late to save Sheriffs another set there.
Is it too
Um,
late now to say sorry?
but yeah, it could have been
Retrospectively, give them this set. Go on, British
could have
dodgeball.
been 13-11 maybe. I mean, you can't retroactively. They are the rules. It's not like, it's not. No one told them to put their foot on the line other than their coach. Um,
Yeah, but nobody tells them really to put their foot in the back line until like the referee gets aggy anyway. So
yeah, so referee gets aggy. I mean, here's a lesson to all: listen to what the referees say and do what they say. Because if they tell you to put their foot on the back of the line, do it. If they don't.
unless the referee's Nick, then you have my full permission to say or do whatever the hell you want. Where's my
Look,
ball?
we are desperate for refs right now. Don't go slagging them off. We need more refs.
No, I'm good. Oh, there's difference. I'm slagging you off a bit.
Oh, I just
Get it,
bizarre.
get it right, get it right.
Anyway, that's the Sheriffs and MK game, and fair play to Nighthawks for
Oh
getting
yeah,
a good result.
there was other matches as
There
well.
were
Yeah.
the matches. I don't think any was surprising other than for me the Thunder Dodge beating Virtue. I thought was a good result for Thunder Dodge. Um, they're not. That means they're not bottom of the table now, which is a surprise because Virtue beat Sheriffs 2 before. Um,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That
so
was the thing.
I honestly thought. You see, I said this was going to be my match to catch, and to be fair, Thunder Dodge would have proven me wrong, um, because I would have backed Virtue to win that. But fair play to Thunder Dodge. Hopefully, you've got your new kit this weekend, and we can finally see what it's like instead of black t-shirts with names written on in chalk on the back.
Did I see? Is Frank back for Thunder Dogs as well now?
I
I think.
don't think I saw him playing. I think he was
Uh,
there coaching. I think because he's still got.
okay. I see. I thought I seen him in the live stream, which is why I thought he might have been
Yeah,
playing.
I could be wrong.
Usually
Frank,
you're
let
wrong.
us know in the comments.
Or just
Yeah.
any
Do you want to talk about two draws then?
I feel like you should talk about your draw first.
Well, you watched it more than I did. I think we played well. I think Spartans played okay, and it came in out as a draw.
I didn't really watch your
Yeah,
game.
I didn't.
I'll be honest.
I did, unlike the Beagles game, I did actually pay attention in that game, and I say that, and I don't remember much of what happened, but I was aware, I was fully aware of what was going on, and I was aware of the score, and I was aware that we were playing well, and we did need to win that final set to draw it up. But it was a really good game, and it felt pretty even, and it felt properly competitive. So no, it was good. Good game. Nothing much else to say about that.
In my very quick speed run before we looked at this recording, it did kind of look like the Spartans weren't really playing at their best the way I've seen them play before. Whereas whenever they played us, they decided to it was really weird when they played us, right? And I can't remember who the commentators were for our game, but I think they put it really well. Is that Spartans probably should have been 12-0 up at halftime, right? They were definitely playing the better dodgeball. What I loved about my worker bees, was that they took and so one thing that I would always say about bees in general is that we're really good at punishing teams if they don't take their chances. And that's definitely one thing that we did. To For us to come in at 6-6 at halftime was really, really good for us. And we kind of took that as momentum to stride forward into a really competitive second half. And it was back and forth the entire game, and it was 12-10 to us going into the final set, where Spartans came back to take it. Like it's a really, really good match to watch. I'd highly recommend it for some really good dodgeball. I want to give a shout out to I thought Matt Key had the game of his life in that one. He played really, really well. And I'm looking forward to seeing him play this weekend. Hopefully, he keeps those levels because he'd be pushing for, if he kept at that level, he'd be pushing for a killer spot in the coming weeks.
Fair. Yeah, well played. I think the only thing I will say is the difference between a 10-10 draw and a 12-12 draw is, it's two extra sets in there, which means that the game's played out, well, your game played out a lot quicker. 10-10 is basically each one goes to time. And 12-12,
Essentially, yeah.
yeah, 12-12 is you've managed to fit a few more sets in there. So it means that in a way there's two different ways you can draw to Spartans. One is a quicker game, a bit more aggressive, and you take your wins and, like you say, punish them. Whereas I think, yeah, our game was a bit more cagey, I guess, a bit more drawn out in each set. I mean, our style of playing is a lot slower anyway. So I think that kind of suits Spartans too. Well, kind of anyway. Spartans are a well-drilled team throughout their levels. It's just Spartans men's two specifically have the ability to just go full chaos when they want and actually come out pretty well because they've got really quick, speedy players that can run all over the court, counter super quick. They can catch at pretty much any distance and do annoyingly acrobatic dodges at point blank range.
Oh yeah, sure.
So
Surely, if you take Dave Poole out of it, surely the most agile team in the country at the
yes,
moment.
yeah. um,
No offense, Dave.
but like it is an interesting like squad in terms of like compared to the rest of the Spartans team that are sort
Yeah,
of well known for being so well drilled. It is a bit of a different way of playing against them. So yeah, no, it was two interesting results. We don't need to talk about us against MK because we
actually,
played absolutely terribly, so that's fine.
no, but I do think it's worth noting the match to catch. That was the Bedford
The
Derby.
Bedford, yeah. I mean, I would say I'm surprised, but I predicted it. So
Is that the one where you went against us in the end?
yeah, everyone else went Eagles and
Yeah.
I went
Like,
Rangers.
well, I didn't know Arnie wasn't going to turn up, did I?
I mean, to be fair, I didn't know Arnie didn't sign up, but um, like Rangers of two had the best of them last season as well, and I wouldn't put it like I think
The
Rangers two are
other,
a pretty solid team against in that
yes.
matchup against Bedford Eagles. I think they have a better chance. That doesn't mean they're going to do better than them in the league, but yeah.
So the reason why it was such a bit, well, two reasons why it was such a big difference in sets is Bedford Eagles lost Arnie, much weaker side without him, because basically their style of play is based around Arnie essentially. Right, no offense to the rest of the squad, but he's the guy that it all plays through. So whenever he's missing, big hole in the squad. But Rangers 2 also picked up Kieran Carrington, who's who's returned. Um, Not a bad signing for the second team. Like, yeah, the couple of sets, I didn't watch the entire game, I'll be honest, but the sets I watched, like he's looking really good, especially for a League One level. Like he slotted in very well and played very well in the sets that I watched. But yeah, Rangers 2 absolutely deserved it. Bit Bedford Eagles definitely struggled to really get any momentum in the game.
Cool. Table. It does mean Nighthawks jumped to the top, which is hilarious considering like my Eagles won one, lost one. Spartans like if Spartans knew going into that league meet they had us, leads in Bs, and that my Eagles were going to lose a game, they would have been fancying themselves for a top, I reckon.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%.
But yeah, it's got to be a rough
They'll
two
be they'll
draws
be
for
they'll
them.
be kicking themselves for sure.
But three draws for them now. They've drawn to MKBs and Leeds.
That might is that going to be like the first like time ever that somebody's drawn both their matches in one match week?
Oh, I don't
Surely,
know.
surely has to be right.
If only we had the data from 2017, 2018, and 2019 to find out. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'll have a look and I'll fact check that one based on the available data. But I don't know. I feel like there was one before, at least one before. But I can't remember what league.
Anyway, that
Anyway,
was sorry, that was a throwaway comment. Anyway,
but yeah, Thunder Dodge move off the
uh,
bottom of the table to not be the doorstop of the team. It's the league.
Virtue have broken the negative 100 set difference.
Yep. Before Norwich
That's
have broken the positive 100 set difference.
yeah,
Um,
that's so impressive. You know,
yeah, it is.
I
Um,
hate I hate the fact that the reason why it's so much bigger than the rest of them is because of us. Fucking kills me inside.
well, Nighthawks. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
fair.
because they beat us 24-2, didn't they?
Yeah, they kind of smashed us as well. We we've had relatively close games elsewise. We got smashed by Nighthawks, drew to Eagles and Spartans too. You beat us by 3 sets. Cyclones beat us by 3 sets. Rangers 2 beat us by 3 sets. So yeah, whatever the rest is what Nighthawks beat us by 4, I think.
That was impressive that you had that all right in front of you for.
It's like I actually remember the games that I've been playing in. But yeah,
We both know that's definitely not the case.
that is definitely not true. Um, I did just
Um,
an insane number of draws. There's not much else to say. It's like anything can happen in this one. More so than what could happen in Super League because you've got
yeah,
Rangers
sorry,
like Rangers 2 to first place is just 2 wins, which is the same as Rangers to first place in Super League. So
yeah, yeah, true.
it's all to play for. It's yeah, gonna be an interesting second half of the season for this one.
So, I genuine question for you here, Nick. Do you see
Yeah.
yourself as like part of the top half of the table in terms of like, if you were to bunch yourself in, or do you throw yourself in with the bottom half?
Are you asking me as a Leeds player, or are you asking me
I'm asking you as an unbiased catching out.
as an unbiased catch? No, hell no. Like, how can you say that when you're on 6 points? You are the middle of the table. Like, you are clear of Sheriffs on the Dodge and Virtue, in my opinion. But
No, no, I like just like Leeds in general. Like, do you see yourself competing with the top six, or are you competing to stay out of relegation at this moment?
I'd say competing for the top half of the table. The reason I say that is like I'm going to put my Leeds hat on here 'cause it's the only way I can explain it. Like, we've had a completely different lineup every league meet,
Yeah, that's
like
fair.
quite significantly so, where we've had one league meet where we only had 7 and we had to bring up a player from the seconds and someone from the women's team. Our first league meet we had 8, but we brought someone in from the women's team as well. We only had 7 for the second league meet. And last league meet we were meant to have 8, but then we only went down to 7 last second due to illness as well. So we haven't actually like ever put out 8 players
Full
from the
credit
first
squad.
team squad, and
Yeah,
like we've with how we do subs and things like that, it's been a bit chaotic. And I think to get to where we are, where we've drawn to Eagles and Spartans too, um, and we still got to play Virtue as our last game of this half. So we will see how that one goes. But we replay MK next league meet. We could be looking at a different table position for Leeds potentially, based on those two matches. So I think you can't count us out yet, but I think it honestly depends on how stable the selection is and how
Fair
fit
enough.
everyone stays and stuff. So um, yeah,
I was just
it'll be
curious.
interesting.
I wanted to poke and prod you. I was just curious.
I no, I'm really enjoying it. I'm glad. Personally, I don't see us fighting for the top two, and I'm glad because I would hate to be promoted because we're going to get absolutely
If you're even
splat.
competing for top two come the last league meet, I'll be
Some sort of miracle.
extremely impressed.
Yeah, probably have made some like extreme signings in the last minute to boost us up, but you know,
You'll have paid teams to fold.
um, but yeah, I don't know. I think it just for me personally, it means that it's actually gonna be a fun season because every game's gonna be competitive. You've got to fight
Oh
for
yeah,
every
it's a
win,
really fun
and
league to be part of.
it's just fun to go out and play every league meet. On that note, let's look at the fixtures for this Sunday. So last matches of the half, as we've said, which include Spartans versus Beagles. That could be a tasty one. Um, and I think MK versus Rangers 2 could also be pretty interesting because they're the two teams that are right above us in the table at the moment.
Yeah, it's the
Um,
other thing is that you just need to. It just depends about what NK turns up because like if they're on form on really well drilled,
hmm,
really difficult team to beat no matter who you are. Whereas if they kind of go into this gun ho, being reckless on like an aggression, Rangers 2 will punish them for it.
yeah, yeah. Um, and then straight away you got the Virtue Thunder Dodge uh, replay as well.
I wish that was left for like the end of the season to see if that could be like a massive game or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that would have been more fun.
it kind of comes. It makes it more difficult though because we've got two teams that get relegated. It's gonna be
It's
yeah,
gonna be me.
it's gonna be. Oh God. Uh, Jeez, the amount we watch TikTok and don't produce them ourselves, it's kind of disappointing. But
True.
yeah, to be fair, there's actually a lot of great games because you got Bedford replay as well. You're replaying Spartan.
Yeah,
You're
I'd
replaying
be.
Spartans. Spartans are
Yeah,
playing.
that's
This league table
that's
could
gonna
look
be a tasty one.
completely different. Apart from probably Nighthawks. Like no offense to
Yeah,
Nighthawks, Nighthawks
Nighthawks
have got two
are
wins, and if you've got Nighthawks getting two wins, you've got um,
and
Spartans
Nighthawks gonna rack up a huge
huge
set
set
difference as
difference. Yeah,
well
so
there.
it's going to be chasing Nighthawks for the rest of the season for everyone else. But for Bedford, you've got Spartans two, which like that's your nemesis in the table at the moment because that's who you're fighting second place for. And then you've also got Rangers who you just lost to. That are two big games in comparison to what last league meet was. You've got Spartans two again, which is another
Yeah,
cracker. Um, and then we need to get some wins eventually. So Virtue and MK are going to be big games. I'll just go watch League One. If you can get up bright and early on Sunday, go watch Men's League One, or start streaming it.
I will unfortunately be there.
I mean, I'm planning to be there for the whole day, so we'll see how
Yeah,
that goes.
same.
Oh, cool.
I hate morning meat. Morning
Wanna
meat's the worst.
wanna skip Women's Super League and go on a lunch date?
Oh, cute.
Oh.
Come
Uh,
on, commentary. Come on, commentary for a game. We can like do another catching out special.
oh,
Get me into on
yeah,
it.
yeah. Can we get all three of us commentating in one game? That'd be hilarious.
I don't think anybody wants to see
No.
that.
I was at training yesterday
Yeah.
and like I just caught myself like sort of quasi commentating. I was like, nice hit, nice catch, nice throw, great dodge, and I was like,
Catching
God,
up.
do not let me commentate. I'll be terrible. Um, but
Sorry,
yeah,
I'm pretty awful too. Anyway, let's.
basically big games around the board. I don't expect the table to look the same as it did at the moment, apart from Nighthawks at the top. Um, yeah. So what is our match to catch?
Match to
To catch,
catch, match to
to catch.
catch.
Um, I'll get there eventually. Probably on.
Honestly, even though we spoke about this mere hours ago, I have no recollection.
Oh yeah, like every time we're just like, yeah, what are we doing again? Um, yeah, it's Spartans versus Beagles. It's that one.
Ooh.
Ooh, second versus third place. Oh God, Spartans are going to want to come out after a disappointing league meet last time.
I will. I will also put the caveat. We have assumed Arnie will be back for this.
Yeah, I'd hope so. I hope he's doing
Otherwise,
right.
it's gonna look really bad in the next episode.
Yeah, yeah. Having said that, I'm just going to go straight in and do my prediction. When I figure out where all the files are. There's too many files in this. It's so annoying. There you go.
Too many files. Too many files.
Spartans 2.
Oh, he's gone Spartans.
So,
Um,
Alex, Elliot, Wilkie, I'm trying to name the entire team. Do me a favour. Go get a win.
yeah. Well, give a bit of advice.
Also, right, in our game against him, don't know what you were doing, mate, but like you just like decided in a counter just to slowly walk off court. I'm not sure if you saw that, but like he was up
No.
front, he didn't have a ball. He might have had a ball, I don't know. And then Nick Garland goes to counter him, and he like runs up straight up, and he just like instead of like putting his hands up to say he's out, he didn't get hit or anything. He just walks off court, but really slowly. So it was really confusing for Nick. Like, do I throw him or not? But yeah,
To be
that
fair, you
happened.
done the exact same thing to me.
No, I was out. I
Nah,
had been hit.
nah. Yeah, but I had no idea you'd been it.
Anyway, get on. Go on. Right, so I'll do Zoe's. Let's see what Zoe predicted. Zoe went and rather bravely predicted Spartans as well.
Oh, what's Bever's predicted? Go
Would
on.
you like? Would you like? Go on. Go
I
on.
want to see.
Shall I tell you what?
You always let Bever's go
Oh,
first.
always go ahead. Let's go.
Stop
Let's
it.
stop.
Stop it,
That's
Ronald.
Ronald. I'm just waiting for like YouTube to give us like a copyright strike because we're too good at replicating that at some point. It's Leviosa.
I really want to go against the grain, but I can't. I have to go Spartans. I have to go Spartans.
Well, yeah, okay, fair.
Honestly, just purely because there's a 50-50 chance that already doesn't turn up.
Fair enough.
That's what I think edges it towards them. I'll be honest.
You know what? I think the last time that all four of us went the same way was a bees game, which just happened to have happened last league meet, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And bees, you went and lost to Spartans.
Yeah.
How
Part of
dare
me
you?
thinks that. No, it wasn't. It was like was it not us
Was it
three
not?
against
Oh, it was
Bevers?
us three against Bevers, that one, maybe.
Yeah, because part of me thought Bevers might have just thrown it for the sake of being better than catching out. Like there's a conspiracy theory there somewhere.
Well, for those keeping track, Zoe is currently leading on 18, Colum's on 16, I'm on 15, and Bevers is on 13 at the moment. That's off the top of my head, but so we're pretty close in our predictions. We're still better than Bevers' prediction system, so that's good to know.
That's not what matters. We beat math.
Did you really just say math? Are
Yeah.
you American all of a sudden?
Never mind. It's a meme. It's a meme. Never mind. Move on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm an uncultured swine here. Clearly, I don't know my mayonnaise.
That was a bit more of a niche one, to be fair, but
All
it's
right.
alright. You can make up for it. You can pretend to be young again soon.
I'm one of the younger ones. I say that and I keep forgetting how young Zoe is compared to us. Like,
God, don't make it sound like that.
I mean, we're all in our 20s, to be fair.
Yeah, 28. Oh.
Sucks to be you. Anyway,
didn't even wish me a happy birthday. The catch nine count. Like, what's that about?
oh yeah, I know. I mean, to be fair, it hasn't wished anyone a happy birthday yet, I don't think. So,
Disgraceful.
so I'm gonna be playing dodgeball on my birthday.
I want like a big graphic like Derby do for their birthdays. You know, I want cringe like red balloons all around my face.
Right, that just for you next year, I'm gonna make a square image that is just loads of different your
Red
faces,
balloons.
and like it's just gonna be a mosaic of you, and like when you zoom out and see what it is, it's gonna be that super low res image of you playing for Ireland that's in our that's in our intro.
Brilliant! I love it. I can't wait.
That'd be
I'm
awesome.
so excited.
Anyway, dodgeball back on track. Um,
Honestly, if you're still listening, fair fucking play.
you must be so bored on the way to league right now. Um, so first of all, I did actually watch the Carmarthen versus MK2's game, or at least caught parts of it, and it was just the most disappointing game to watch from a Wizards perspective. Like from a Wizards, they
Right.
should have done so much better. They should have played so much better. But I mean, without putting it too bluntly, they just didn't. They didn't play that cohesively. They made some really dumb decisions individually, trying to make things happen when it didn't need to happen. Like um, the game was theirs to lose at times, and they just wanted MK to not lose apparently. Um, so I was talking to Tom afterwards about it, and it's
Yeah.
just like that is a really like Wizards this season that have been disappointing, and this like typified them, I believe. Like this season, it's not it doesn't look good for them. They can do much better than that. We know they can do much better than that. Um, they just needed to play.
I keep being reminded because somebody from Carmarthen keeps coming up to me and going, can you stop reminding us that we should be doing better, please?"
Yeah, everyone like I
At
don't
least it's
know.
not me. At least it's not me this week.
Oh no, yeah. Yeah, we just need to keep like telling Wizards they need to do better. So hopefully, and they're
One week
also
will be right.
there's also one of those teams that will be getting their new kit soon as well. Not this weekend, but soon.
Yeah, I remember seeing it advertised.
So yeah, I managed to get my order in. So yeah, I'll be repping the Wizards kit. Um,
You do love a purple kit, don't
I
you?
do love a purple kit. I wonder why. But yeah, you know what? It was mental yesterday at training. Everyone turned up in uni kits, like pretty much. I was just there, like, yeah, everyone's here is in their uni
My
kits.
God.
Um, apart from those that played three ball uni. But hey, um,
You're
yeah,
calling people old. Anyway,
that Phantom Storm 3. I remember I did speak to some of the Storm players about that Phantoms game. I think they were a bit miffed at that result. They should have done a lot better again, they felt. Um, I think looking at the table, they should have done a lot better beating Derby twos, but fair enough, I guess, the Derby. I don't know what they did. I would love to
I bet
watch that
Sam
back.
Robertson.
Yeah, I mean, if in doubt. If in doubt. I mean, yeah, it was an evening one, so maybe he was falling asleep at that time instead of like getting just late to turn up. Anyway, yeah, I was surprised at that result. I need to go back and watch it on the Derby YouTube channel because if they've got it recorded, because that was not a result I was expecting, and I think definitely would have backed Storm 3 to win that based on their performances. Um,
Yeah, I think that's fair.
yeah, but I'm actually catch Wizards Wessex 2. Wizards coming out with a win there, showing us that they can play well at times and beat teams that they should be competitive against.
We all
Um,
like we know that there is a really strong squad for the league they're in. Like there's a strong squad in there that can beat pretty much anybody in that league. You know, I genuinely have been shocked by the results they've been getting, and from seeing some of their um match playback, like I've seen some really good stuff. It just seems to be consistency, and arguably some decision making at times as well. Yeah, I hope they take this as a bit of momentum to go on and start, playing how we know they can. One win can change a whole season.
Yeah, could snowball, and before you know it, they could be winning the league. Um, but yeah, oh, we'll see. Um, not much else to say. I think that Mustangs win over Wessex is a good result for Mustangs as well. Bit of a,
Yeah, and
bit of a disappointing day
I
for
would
Wessex, to be honest.
I would agree with that. I think it was all like you look at it both ways, right? Mustangs, I thought they played well. Um, uh, Wessex, yeah, Wessex are a team that like they could beat a lot of clubs in that league. Like, there's nobody there that I wouldn't see them competing against, really. Do you think that's fair to say?
I mean, I can't see them competing against Ronda. I think Ronda are pretty solid this year. And Silverbacks too have been pretty impressive. So yeah, Silverbacks too have been pretty impressive.
Well, you say that they got beat 18-6 by Ronda.
Yeah, but like up until that point, Silverbacks were unbeaten.
Were they
So
actually unbeaten?
they were unbeaten. So this Silverbacks two versus Ronda, that was two unbeaten teams against each other, which Ronda clearly showed that they are the better unbeaten team by being the only unbeaten team now. Do you think I
Fair.
said unbeaten enough that time and used it correctly? um,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that was the sound of Colm hitting his head against his mic because he's that fed up with my shit by now. We haven't even made it through a year. It's gonna be a long one, isn't it?
Was it 6 months?
Yeah, so yeah, I think Silverbacks definitely are a good squad. But yeah, back to your point on Wessex.
That was pretty much it. Is that from the bits and pieces I've seen, like I haven't watched too much of the League Two this year, but from what I've seen from Wessex, like there's a definite potential in that squad to do very well in a lot of games. So they're definitely a squad to look out for in future meets.
Yeah, I feel like it. League Two is one of those leagues that there are probably three teams that are pretty consistent in their ability, and all the rest like ping all over the place, whether they play really solidly or they get absolutely taken apart um, week in, week out. And I'd say that the three teams that play pretty consistently are Ronda, Silverbacks, and Mustangs. I wouldn't say that Mustangs are necessarily like they're consistent, but they're definitely like middle of the pack consistent. They're not like pushing for wins
Yeah,
against. I don't think they could ever beat Ronda or Silverbacks, but they
no, because I watched back their game against Soldiers on the Manchester Bees site, and genuinely like Soldiers probably should have won that. There's like three sets where we were up by three players, and it's just experiencing game management that really cost us by, throwing a silly single, getting caught, and the set swings around that way. And that happened like three times. Um, Whereas if you just see them out in a smart way, you've then won the game. Um, I know Soldiers are missing a few people next meet, but if there's a couple of meets where Bees have everybody available for selection, that Soldier team is going to be really strong and difficult to beat. So if they can get that at the right time, like they're actually a team to probably watch out for in the coming meets potentially.
I think that's my point about this league though, is that there are three teams that are consistent in their ability. They don't really ever go higher or lower than what you
Yeah, yeah,
expect.
yeah.
Everyone else roll the dice. Like
Oh yeah,
The fact Carmarthen can lose to Ronda by one set and then get draw to MK2.
yeah,
MK2 have done pretty well to get that one. Phantoms 2 doing really well against Storm there. Storm should have done better, and they also Storm made a real like hash playing against Wizards as well because they only won that one by one set. Like, and then they lost to Ronda by one set. Like, just highs and lows all around the park. Raptors, you beat Bees 26-2 and you beat Wessex 20-0. But you then get trounced by Ronda 24-4. Like yeah, it's anyone's guess what's happened in this league, which means it's chaotic when you look at the table, but for different
Embrace
reasons,
the chaos.
but for completely different reasons compared to other leagues. So like that middle table is pretty rammed, five, fifth through eighth, pretty close. Which is interesting when you consider Raptors were
Wow,
pushing for promotion last year.
that's Cyclone 2's first point.
Yeah,
Oh wow. Oh yeah.
that is big oof.
That's a painful one there.
Yeah, still somehow.
I know 1 point doesn't seem like a lot, but in a league as tight as this,
Yeah,
like that's the difference. Like that would have put them.
it wouldn't have changed their
No,
position,
I wouldn't
but
change the position, but I would have put them level with
yeah,
fifth.
instead of
Fifth,
level
like
with Derby,
yeah.
who are the serial drawers of this league. Like, fuck.
It's the Spartans 2 of League Two.
There are three leagues that have a team in that have three draws in. You've got
Mud.
Men's League One, Men's League Two, and Women's League One. All have a team with three draws in.
The man's knowledge cannot be questioned, folks.
I've done so much prep
like
for this.
I was gonna say it's not like you like make the league tables for us or anything.
Yeah, I was. That, the worst thing was I was talking to Gittins yesterday in training, and I was just like, "Wait, who has Storm got this weekend?" Bearing in mind this is about 45 minutes after I'd made the graphic, and he was like,
Yeah.
"I don't know, you should probably know," and I'm like, "I probably should, but I can't remember." And I was like, "Wait, it's the reverse fixture, so you definitely got your second team again." But that was all I could figure out. But yeah, so for audio listeners, there hasn't been much change in the table, but Wizards jump up from eighth up to sixth after getting a win and a draw, which is pretty good for them, even though that draw is probably the most disappointing draw for them, which is why Colin was commentating on Cyclones' first points being that draw against Wizards. But yeah, you got Storm 3 and Mustangs on 11 points with 5 wins and 1 draw each. But yeah, Rondo and Silverbacks too, I think, have got this league pretty much wrapped up.
Yeah.
Which is disappointing to see so early on. But that's not to say Storm 3 couldn't like come back, or Mustangs, but they would have to win all their matches. I don't see it happening. Sorry, lads.
Nick's
So
trying to shit here. He's trying to be optimistic for you, but lads,
I'm trying, you know, throw him a bone, why not? But yeah, it means that, right, no offense, again, Cyclones 2 and Soldier Bees are kind of like pinned at the bottom at the moment. But it makes that mid-table.
It's a big climb up.
But you know, the real rough thing, right, is that if you finish bottom 2 of League 2, you got to go down to League 3, and that is not a league that you'd really want to be a part of at the moment, because that might be, if discussions are to be heard, it might be split north-south next year, and that would be.
Ooh.
I don't know. I wouldn't personally, like, you want to be holding on to that league to status as much as possible, because you're almost guaranteed to stay at St George's Park then. But if we can stay at St George's Park, but yeah, interesting. Anyway, moving on.
The throwaway comment there, mate.
Yeah, I know nothing.
I know nothing.
I don't know anything. It was in the news. It was in the. That's a point that we didn't cover at the beginning. If you haven't taken British Dodgeball's dodgeball survey thing, it's the end of year review or whatever it is. I don't know. There's a survey British Dodgeball do. It's on their website. Go do it. And there's a question in there about what would happen if we couldn't be at St George's Park, etc. That's why I mention it. Yeah, the knowledge of this person, I'm telling you. Anyway, next league meet. I don't know. I haven't actually looked at these fixtures at all, really. I just sort of stuck them together.
Base Cyclones could be good.
Yeah, I mean, bottom of the table, need some points, don't you?
Mundo.
I'd be interested to see what Raptors team turns out, because if like if it's a stronger Raptors team, then Storm 3 could have the handful, which means that Mustangs could sneak above Storm 3 in the table, and Storm 3 have just been masquerading as a top 3 team the whole time. And they just need bringing back down to mid-table.
To reveal the bottle jobs.
Yeah. This is what it's like.
I'm gonna get crucified for that one.
That is a meme though, right? If they lose and then like they lost to Mustangs or whatever, like I would have got away with it if it weren't for your meddling kids.
Yeah, I was gonna tell the Scooby Doo meme.
Oh, please make our dreams come true. That would be great.
Never want a Raptor to win more in my life.
Yep. But otherwise, you know what? I'm just going to skip straight ahead because there's not much point else. I don't think there's any other fixtures to cover. I think it's just let's talk about our
Let's
match
talk
to
about
catch.
prediction, baby. Let's talk about. I don't know. I tried there. I tried to do something different. It did not work.
We are looking to get some music sorted. To be fair, just Nick needs to get his shit together and like organize, like put it into the system. I don't have time to do it at the moment. But anyway,
You
West
just don't
62.
love me enough, I get it.
Oh, I just don't care about podcast enough. That's why.
You don't do enough for this
I
podcast.
don't do enough for this podcast. I need to pull my weight a bit more, don't I?
I'm gonna keep quiet enough for it. I don't know. They just sit here and be pretty.
I'm pretty sure that's in the contract, right? Like that is your job. If you don't do that,
for the sake of the podcast, they keep me as far away from most of it as possible.
You should see his makeup costs for the podcast. It is insane. The man spends money
in the thousands, mate.
It's all for work. It's all for work. West 62 versus Carmarthen. Now, Carmarthen won it last time. What were you thinking? Do you want me to go with Bev's prediction first?
Go on. What's Bever's predicting?
What's the mathematician? Did you like that?
Mathematician.
It was a good one, wasn't it?
God's sake.
Here to grace your audio channels for the next 40 minutes.
We're gonna do it. The next episode is gonna be ASMR for all the audio listeners.
I'd need a much better mic to do that.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong there.
Do you want Zoe's prediction as well?
Go on. What's Zoe predicting? So you don't forget her again.
So for audio listeners, because we probably didn't say, Bevis has predicted Wizards, and so is Zoe. So Carmarthen versus Wessex 2 predictions for Wizards. What are we thinking?
That probably didn't sound very good to the audio listeners. I've got to back the Wizards, don't I? Yeah, let's go with the Wizards. I'll back them. Plus they're purple, so purple usually wins. And he shows Nick first, you know.
Yeah, to be fair, I thought I was going to get it done first.
I say it, and then he shows his own prediction.
I mean, to be fair, I thought I was going to get it done quick, and then just realised that you made your decision much quicker than I expected.
The disrespect, mate.
I mean, are they really matches to catch if we're all predicting the same team to win? Maybe we just have favourites, don't we? Let's not hide it. We have favourites.
Well, are we gonna start like showing our predictions for each match and then go like, oh, this one's different. Let's go for that one. Bit boring, that, isn't it?
We don't think this one's going to be a dead giveaway, therefore it is our match to catch.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, that would be fair, except for the we're not right 100% of the time, far from it. So
as the leaderboard shows.
Yeah. If any person
not to be fair, like we just genuinely just pick the match that we'd watch if.
Yeah, we'd watch if we could.
Yeah.
Which most of the time we do.
Other than whenever they're on the same time, but we try to, yeah.
Yeah, if it's one that we're playing in, for example,
then I usually tend to watch it from the court.
Yeah, you just stand on court and you're
Whereas
like,
Nick watches it from the outbox.
oh, I got, yep, that's true. That's, yep, yep,
Yeah,
fair.
he's that guy.
Cannot argue with that.
Go
Anyway,
watch go watch the Insta reel if you want proof.
I wasn't in the outbox for that. I was just daydreaming. It
You
was all
might as
good.
well have been.
I may as well. I mean, that is very, very fair. No, that was the wrong one. No, that's also the wrong one.
If for those on YouTube, look away until he gets the right league up.
Why I? Oh, I
have you
changed.
have you missed have you
I
mislabeled it?
mislabeled this one league. Like for all of them,
Oh, you were doing
I've gone
so
like
well for so long.
Women's League One result. Like all of them have been like league results or fixtures, and then what week it is. For some
Yeah,
reason, I labeled this one Women's League One fixtures week 4 results.
yeah.
Therefore, it was not in the same
Honestly,
place as all the others.
honestly, who let you out of the house?
I've not even left the house today. Been slaving away at graphics and working from home.
Brilliant. I love it. I'm here for it.
So anyway, back to dodgeball. I did so
Dodgeball's a thing.
yeah. Wessex versus Nighthawks was a horrible game for me to watch because I desperately wanted Nighthawks to win for obvious reasons. Those reasons, for those of you who haven't listened to us before, is Wessex and Leeds are currently tied for first place and are separated by set difference at the moment. That is all that and
I thought you were a Wessex fanboy, to be honest.
well, some people don't seem to believe that, especially quite a few of the Wessex people for some reason. I had to clarify that one pretty damn quickly. Um, but anyway,
I
um,
love my job.
so yeah, no, the Wessex Nighthawk game, like every time I looked over, Nighthawks were doing really well. They'd either brought it back to a draw, or they were like one set behind, and they were like really fighting it out. And then I started watching it, and then Wessex started winning. So I had to resolve to just not watching it and just hope that a result, like a decent result, come out with it. And to be fair, Nighthawks losing by one set. I think Wessex, I think they were 2 sets ahead at the end, and then Nighthawks won the last set to bring it back to one set difference. But um, yeah, and I think Wessex now have a YouTube channel, so you can go watch that game for those of you that are interested in Women's League One because it is a great league. You can go watch it on that YouTube. And I think Colin is looking up right now.
Maybe.
No pressure. But yeah,
Oh,
that
it's
was a really
definitely
close game. I don't know really what went wrong for Wessex in that one, or what went right for Nighthawks. But it was a bit of a weird one because yeah, every time I looked over, Nighthawks seemed to claw it back, and then every time I started watching, Wessex just they were catching it. Like Nighthawks were throwing singles when they didn't need to, and Wessex, being Wessex, can catch pretty well, so they were catching it all. And then they were pretty short sets that they won. So fair play to Wessex for that one. Yeah. Other games though, big win for Canterbury because they needed some wins to get in their league fight at the moment. I just want to say, massive shout out to Honeybees for 2 really solid results. They were going against 2 of the hardest teams in the league, and they came out with a very respectable set difference.
and they
Um,
lost 2 of their um best players to Queen Bees as well.
yeah, like
One? No, one. Kath moved up.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, considering Honeybees arguably, losing the likes of Hannah and Kath throughout the season, um, it shows the really strong tightness of the group of the Honeys, like how like they're getting along so well and they're training really hard together. And Charlotte and Meg have done a fantastic job, like really getting the girls into shape. And I think if you had kind of that time before the start of the season to really get to grip with things, they probably could have chipped away with a few wins throughout the season, to be honest. but I'm really excited to see where they go. And that it's just really exciting to watch, and it's really exciting to see like a lot of the Mubs girls coming through like are really settling into the club very well, and yeah, I'm really excited to see where they push on from here.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad we played them earlier and got in a nice, comfortable win then. But like we said at the
Yeah,
time, Bees definitely deserved more sets than they got. And
yeah, definitely.
boy, we got away with one there. But yeah, really going to be interesting to see how, because I know they're currently at the bottom of the table. But this result, even though they've got two hard losses, got to really boost morale going forward because they're two solid results against two pretty darn good teams. Um,
Could not agree more.
I think, having said that, from memory, White Tigers did only have 5 players for the first half,
I don't know.
but
I wasn't there.
I think they did get their sixth player for the Phantoms game. But yeah, other than that, oh, poor Zoe. So Zoe wasn't there last league meet. She was back home in Switzerland.
The messages in the group
Uh,
chat.
and
Jesus Christ.
Nick here, being the only representative from catching out at the freaking league meet last time, I was there responsible for updating Zoe on what the hell was going on. And did Nick do a good job? No, no, Nick did not.
No, I did
Nick,
not. I'm pretty sure
Nick,
Zoe had a panic attack at halfway through one of the games.
Nick
Like,
decided
Nick,
to.
you not responded in like 3 cents worth of time. What is going on?
So like for what happened, the Spartans to Leeds game was insanely close the entire way through. I think it was 6-all at half time. I think this was another case of
Yeah,
Leeds went 6-2 up and then lost the last two sets of the half, which was like a 3 minute set that I think basically something unlucky happened and then it was 6-4 and then it was a minute set and then they won by one person and then it was 6-all and it's like, oh wow, we're suddenly at 6-all. Um, and the whole way through, it was like Leeds win one, Spartans win one, Leeds win one, Spartans win one. And it was really close up until it got to 10-all. Um, and there was like, I think it was a minute 40 left. And this is when I tell Zoe, like, there's a minute 40 left. It's 10-all. Okay. And then we're like playing and we're like 5-2 up. And then Meg on our team has to do her laces up because they come undone. So they pause time to do her laces up. At which point, Spartans then decide this is the perfect time to realise that if they step off court, they can then have a 60-second set to try and pull out a draw. So I then tell Zoe this, and we come away and win the last 60-second set, which is why we get a two-set win, which is far more than we probably deserved considering how close that match was. I completely forgot to tell Zoe this. I just told
oh yeah,
I just told
you
her,
were.
oh, by the way, it's a 60-second set. Spartan stepped off court, and then just did not tell her anything else. Um,
Even I was like, he's too scared to tell her that the truth.
so I did then get roasted by the entire Leeds women team for for being bloody useless. But hey, we came away with a win, and
You did.
big respect for the Spartans too, because they, I've said all season long, solid team, really played really well, and they went toe to toe with us and made it a really good game, and all the way to the end where it literally came down to one set, even though the set difference is two, it came down to that 60-second set, and we just got, I think, a little bit lucky and clutched up, which is something that Leeds are so renowned for, clearly.
God, you really are scared of the Spartan 2 girls now, aren't you?
I made up to them. I made up to them. I'm we're friends now, right? Starts to you don't hate me.
I am such a shitstar. It's unreal.
They don't they understand that I don't hate them. I think that's the important thing. And I think they're a good team.
Don't listen to
Having said that, you did bottle against Mavericks.
them. Jesus, that's how you make friends, there, mate.
I don't actually know what happened in that game because I was too busy watching the Canterbury Leeds game, which was also incredibly close and kind of nervy to watch because Canterbury made it a really difficult game. Leeds didn't make it easy for themselves. I wouldn't say it was quite funny because I think both teams, Wessex and Leeds, knew that going into this, that set difference was really important.
Yeah,
Both teams managed to not get the set difference that they probably expected to coming out of it, um,
that's fair.
which is kind of funny. When two teams go in, kind of want to go get some big wins, and both teams come out with okay wins. They did the first job, which was win, but yeah, it was real cagey from both teams.
So
Don't
yeah,
really know what
it's the
happened.
harder thing to do, to be fair.
Yeah, yeah. Did mean that Leeds maintained their one set difference at the top of the table, but yeah, but big up Hartlepool for getting another win because I know they've had a bit of a up and down season so far with their wins and losses. I thought Hartlepool would definitely be doing a lot better in the table. Just open the table, mate.
Yeah, just go on,
Just
Nick.
go on,
Go on.
open the table. There you go. Hartlepool are fourth, but like some of the results you would have thought they were because they've got 5 wins but have a set difference of 2. So like their losses have been pretty heavy at times. So and that's not just I think that's just against Leeds, Wessex, and White Tigers they've lost to. I think. Um,
It's impressive.
yeah, but it means their wins have not been massive.
Yeah, but
This is where we find out Nick's got his stats from, and it's not actually 2. I'm going to double check this now because
I could
that's really sus if it is like.
actually, to be fair, not they've won 85, which is less than what Derby Phantoms 2 has got. So like it sort of makes sense.
Yeah, no, they're on a set difference of 2.
Yeah, it kind of adds up.
Yeah, yeah, it's yeah.
But I don't. Like in my head, it makes sense because I would say that they're a bit of a jump off of um, Leeds and Wessex, and they're sort of were the similar level to White Tigers. So like it adds up. It
Yeah,
adds up. Don't you worry, Nick. You're doing a good job.
I kind of know what I'm talking about, kind of.
Okay, just a
Kind of a
little
little
bit,
bit, little
just
bit.
a little bit.
But yeah, our favourite team, the serial drawers for this league, Spartans 2, at 7th. Um,
I kind of wish that Leeds and Wessex didn't draw, so that Spartans too could literally be the only team that's drawn against every other team that's drawn. If that makes sense. Like, that would
yes,
have been kind of cool. That would have been kind of cool. I can't lie.
yeah, that would be good. Yeah, but it makes it interesting at the top. It means that the last league meet, I think Leeds and Wessex are playing the last league meet of the season.
No
Uh,
way! Ah, it's gonna be so sick.
I hope they are. Uh,
That'd be incredible.
I'm gonna check that now. Women's League
Um,
One.
while he's checking that, to be honest, this is kind of playing out how I expected to.
Oh no, we're playing. No, it's
You
it's the
bullshit.
penultimate game, penultimate meet of the season. They play
You lied to me.
7:15 on a Sunday.
So many Sunday meets. Can they not just do them all on Saturdays? Jeez.
Hey, look, if you want to play at St George's Park, we got to play it what we get given, So,
Yeah, I know, but
would you rather play at St George's Park on a Sunday or Coventry?
on a Saturday.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's actually a tough choice, can't lie.
I'd take St George's Park. No lie.
Sunday, man.
Yeah, but
Tired. I'm tired. I'm
it's
working
just
boys.
different. It's just different. St George's Park
Just
is
hits
just different.
different. Right. We've really gone off tangent here. Let's back onto the lead before.
We love to waffle.
I literally woke up from an accidental nap to record this. I need bed.
I am looking forward to the what happens the second half of the season for this league because, like I said, Mavericks are doing really well at 4th, but they have been up and down in their results. I feel. Um,
The other thing is that Wessex and Leeds have both shown that they can drop points against
yes.
a few teams in this league.
Well, sets.
Hmm?
Sets. They haven't dropped points, but sets.
No, the potential to drop points.
Oh yeah.
Like there's been several games where Leeds and Wessex have won by 1 or 2 sets, all of which have been really tight up until said, like final score. So like, don't be shocked if we end up seeing an upset against either of them before that big match. towards the end of the season.
Mhm.
Like Leicester and Hartlepool definitely have it in them to potentially cause an upset. And Norwich, Derby, and Spartans, and even Canterbury have put in close results against teams high up the table. Like so,
I mean, it's not a done deal yet
still on the
because
side for
Lee.
no,
So
definitely. That's what I'm saying, right? Like we're kind of like, oh, can't wait to see Leeds, Wessex, like the title decider. Like
yeah,
realistically, like they're like you still have a lot of clawing your way through matches to get through before you even get to
yeah,
that match.
and most importantly, you're probably forgetting what we were talking about earlier today, which is
Probably.
actually what what
That's right.
what fixtures and Leeds have still got to play White Tigers.
Oh yeah, we did have to go for
So like, even though Wessex and Leeds are currently top of the table, White Tigers, who are only a win behind them both,
yeah,
play Leeds this week, this weekend. So it'll be an interesting one for sure.
for sure.
Probably going to be a week that Wessex are going to be looking to try and sort out their set difference.
Mm.
They play their game against Canterbury. Obviously, we played them last week, so that'll be an interesting one. And then we do our repeat against Canterbury this week, and then Wessex play against Bees. I'll be really interested to see how Honeybees do against Wessex this week because I feel like they've got to be like coming in with so much energy. And if they have a good,
They are missing a few people though. It's a bit of an issue, unfortunately.
I see this problem of having uni players is they go home.
They actually go enjoy the Christmas. It's the exam season as well, and
Yeah,
then like so
exams. That's true.
bit of a shit show.
Bees, do us a favour. Come on. Look, we help you out by drawing to like we help you out in league men's league one by drawing to Spartans 2 and Beagles. And what you come on go do us a favour in women's league one, will you?
If you had beaten Spartans, I might have had that conversation, but only a draw.
Only a draw.
Don't know if that's good enough,
True, true. We didn't manage to coax the yellow card out of them for your game, did they?
That would have been if you'd done that. That would have been incredible scenes.
That would have been nuts. Anyway, yeah. So Leeds White Tigers. I mean, spoilers. It's unmatched to catch, but I think depending on it, yeah. If these can bring the team that they brought last time, or seeing how it's like, you'd expect that these Spartans 2 game to be really interesting because Spartans 2 get solid team looking like they're doing all right, but then Bees are definitely on the up. That Nighthawks Phantoms 2 game as well, I think probably one we've
I think that'll
overlooked.
be. Yeah, no, I think that'll be a good one to watch for sure.
Yeah, definitely overlooked that game. This is the thing, like based on last time's performance, I expect Nighthawks to win it, but Phantoms 2 also had like some good league meets recently as well. So yeah, although tough
Yeah,
day for them.
definitely will be interested in league to watch. There's probably a few matches there I'll go watch.
Yeah, that's the evening one, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I'll be sticking around. I'm board streaming anyway, aren't I? So I'll be
Gotta
watching.
go catch them balls.
No comment.
Oh, jeez. It's
Who
the
let
White Tigers versus Leeds.
Please.
Leeds.
Um,
I wonder who Nick and Zoe have predicted for this game.
yeah, I'm just gonna get that out of the way.
What a shock! He has chosen Leeds. No one would have seen that coming. Oh my god! Zoe has also chosen Leeds. Nobody would have seen that coming.
Well, the biggest
What
shock of the day is what has Bevis predicted.
Surely has to go Leeds for this one, right?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Let's go!
You're gonna book the trend on your dick and go for White Tigers.
I really want to.
Do it, because then you might actually catch up to Zoe in the predictions.
Yeah, but then you might catch up to me, and that's the big issue.
We don't care about that.
we don't care about that. See, go on, go with the White Tigers. Let's go.
Yeah, I knew it. Knew you couldn't resist. And that's because you genuinely believe in the White Tigers as well. You think they will definitely be a better team and beat us.
I didn't immediately go for Leeds there. I want to point this out, right? It was a genuine decision I had to make, right?
I mean,
I
it wouldn't be our match couch if it wasn't going to be a good game to watch. Because White Tigers have played some really good dodgeball and played really well this season. Like you say, they're only like a win behind us. So, um, yeah, definitely not one that Leeds can go, yeah, we've got this in the bag or anything. They've got to turn up and play
I
well.
think Leeds have proven that there is not a single game in this league that they can go, we've got this in the bag.
That is
That's
very true. That is
and that,
very true.
honestly, it's not even a dig at Leeds. That is a compliment to every other team because there's been so many scrappy games in that league. It honestly is mental.
But that's why we love it. Like
We love it.
not to go on and on about why we love Women's League One, but it is.
Oh, don't put we in this category. You talk about it more than Zoe does. She
Yeah,
plays
true.
in it.
Yeah, true. I think it's a great league. It's so much more competitive. I think it's like from top to bottom, you don't know what's going to happen week in, week out. I think like Men's League One and Men's Super League, um, they have their moments, right? Like, but generally there's like the best teams and the not so good teams and then the middling teams. Same with like Men's League Two that we saw, and even Men's League One. Like, but Women's League One, even though the league table says these two are clear and above everything else, they're not clear and above because like you look at the results and like Spartans too, if they won that last set, it's a completely different result.
I just want to point out the obvious here. You've completely backtracked in what you said about this league earlier on.
I know. I think all of them are like good. I'm just saying
Backtrack
why
is
Women's League One is the best. It's the bestest.
It's the best. It's because it's Leeds' only chance of getting a goal this year.
And I took that personally.
It's all right. Once Leeds gets rid of you, their men's team have a better chance on
Yeah,
you.
because that's going to be happening soon, isn't it? I've just moved to Leeds. Anywho,
Second team will love you. Anyway, Women's Super League results, Nick. What's the main results that stick out to you?
Spartans, Valkyries. That was a great game.
It was a very good game. A very surprising game, I will be honest.
A very Valkyries game based on a lot of the matches that Valkyries have played.
Honestly, like if there was honestly, I know you and Zoe want Wessex to be the team that is every match to catch. Personally, for me, it's Valkyries because
Whoa,
who the fuck?
whoa! Take that back right now because I have advocated not for picking Wessex in the league. I know you've totally reeled me in here. I am buying. I do not care. But like, I
That was a
have
far bigger
advocated.
nibble. That was a far bigger nibble than I was expecting.
I have advocated not to pick Wessex in as the match to catch in League One before, and I am the one that gets overruled. And I'm the one that said
Hold on, no.
I'm the one that said
Happened
Valkyrie should have been our match to catch for the first league meet, and I was the only person who voted for them. And yes, I got them wrong, but still, I thought Valkyries would do really well against Derby. So, just saying, I'm a Valkyries fan. Carry on, sir, as you were.
That's completely not what my point was.
Carry on, as you were.
As I was saying, Valkyries, you just never know what you're gonna get. They're like they can play like the best team in the league, or they could very much play like a relegation battle team. This league, mate, they decided to turn up as a Super League like dominating team. For to be honest, I think the majority of the Spartans game, I think Spartans got away with one a wee bit, getting the draw. I'll be honest, in terms of the overall balance of the game. So there was a set I really want to talk about, but I'll be honest, it's completely out of my head, and I can't find my notes anywhere. I actually had a lot to say about this, but I legit have no idea where I put them. Don't know if you remember watching the game.
Not really. I mean, so from oh, bloody adverts. Um,
Get YouTube Premium, mate. Come on.
oh, I don't have time for that. Don't have the money for that.
Well, I'm mood.
So Spartans were like always one set ahead. Valkyries then got ahead by one set, and then Spartans drew it back. So it was toe to toe throughout. It's
It was.
quick, quick, quick commentary on what the hell happened in that match. But I think like my view on it is that Valkyries, as always, um, in their matches, like they're very momentum heavy. Like they're either playing really well or they're not, and like it depends on how often like a game changing like event happens. And I think it was Zoe that was saying last time that like Valkyries are one of those teams that just do a bit more individual like flashy stuff, and sometimes it pays off and it doesn't. I think she's talking about Phantoms and doing that, but I think the same thing still applies to Valkyries. Is that they're catching when they can pull out like on a three ball throw, a catch and a block and a dodge. It's just kind of filthy.
I remember what I wanted to point out. Um, so Spartans went ahead by something like two, maybe three sets, and were kind of ahead for a bit. Valkyries turned it round to bring it. They went 9-7 up, I believe,
Yeah.
and then it was like the final set, and I think Spartans were like 3 players to 1 up or 2-1 up. And I was surprised by the decision to hold the ball by Amy Jones. I think Sam Richards called from the sideline, whereas Lucy was calling for Amy to go for the hit for the win. I was surprised it didn't go for it to try and take the win. Because we've had this discussion in the past about like, do you go for the win? Do you go for the draw? Like, I know kind of like how you feel about the game plays a big effect, but especially with the early stages with Spartan being fairly dominant in terms of scoreline anyway. Like I was really shocked they didn't want to try and go for the 2 points. No?
Yeah,
Don't know how
I'm
you
just
feel about
watching
that.
it. Yeah, no, I'm just watching it back now, and essentially, like Spartans were down, brought it to 3-all.
Yeah.
This is 10-8, 10-8 in the final set. Um, then
Yeah, it's 10 to Valkyries, I should point out.
yeah, Spartans go like full ham, are going to like trying to hit everything.
Yeah, because I remember Charlie Edwards got hit. So she made a dodge, and then I think Lucy or somebody goes up, makes a hit.
Yeah,
Which makes it 3-2.
3-1. No, it's
3-1.
3-1.
Is that 3-1?
That's it. That's 3-1, and then Amy goes to throw, and then a pre-throw comes in, and the whistle goes exactly at that time.
Yeah, so but like you can see with Amy, she was just like jogging, like walking up basically. And
Yeah,
I was shocked. I
she
was
could
shocked
have
she didn't
pushed
go
it.
for it. Especially
Yeah,
with like Amy's a very strong thrower. Like I personally would just went for it and see what happens. Like um
I mean
yeah.
the other side there is like
I thought it was a bit of a strange decision
I
personally.
mean the other side of it is there is like a player in the middle of the neutral zone injured, and I don't know about you, but that would probably put me off personally.
Was there?
Yeah, what the
Oh,
Valkyries
was that
player?
from the one was that for the one with
Yeah,
Lucy?
with
Was it?
Lucy. Yeah,
I didn't realize she was injured. I thought she was just, trying not to be in the way.
yeah.
Um
No, definitely an interesting one. I think there were opportunities for catches. That once once Spartans went 3-2 up in that instance, because it all happened in about 15, 20 seconds. There
yeah,
was
oh
just
yeah,
a
the
lot of singles coming from Valkyries, and I know it's not really an attacking mentality to go fishing in that scenario, but like I think they were pretty catchable for Spartan's ability. I think they could have caught a lot of them, but no, definitely that was definitely the game that jumps out to me as a big
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It was just an interesting set. I was just kind of surprised by some of the decisions, but
big day for Storm 2. Big day for Storm 2 with
Was unfortunately.
the beating Queen Bees and Raptors.
Comfortably beaten Queen Bees as well.
Yeah. Um, if you're a Manchester fan, that was a bit of a rough game to watch. They didn't play terribly, like not not really, not in my opinion. They just were
Not
outplayed by
terribly,
Storm
but
2.
yeah, they're like all the sets they lost, like there weren't like big turnarounds. There weren't but Queens are dominating and then kind of something spun it around. Like I just think Storm 2 played every set very well.
Yeah, they just played better.
Um, yeah, I think having Tamara and Katie there, like I think having somebody that's played with pretty much everybody that's on that Queens team definitely showed and helped. Um, but yeah, no, fair play to them. They deserved the win. They played really, really well.
Yeah, I'd love to. Another game I'd like to see what happened. I don't think it was on the stream, was it? Oh, it was on stream. The Spartans Rangers game. That result was a bit closer than I expected.
Yeah, Rangers started off well and then kind of drifted off towards the end. Is kind of the momentum swing of it. I feel like Rangers kind of played into Spartans' hand in terms of they kind of left themselves quite vulnerable to the singles quite a lot, which we've talked about before. Spartans are incredibly good at it whenever they're on form, and if you give them the chance to build momentum, like they're just gonna steamroll you really.
Yeah, no, it's a interesting league meet with some decent results for all. Wish we could be less vague about it, but honestly, it's a bad habit. I watch it straight after playing because like I'm like, oh, it's fresh in my memory, and then we wait like 3 weeks to record the podcast, and all of it is left in my memory. So next time I'll do it whilst I'm making the graphics. I just basically need to buy a second monitor so I can do it then. But
Yes,
um,
do it, sir.
yes, even if it's just a crummy 1080p one, it'll do the job.
It also doesn't help. I've just back from the Christmas break where I've absolutely just not looked at anything dodgeball related over the entire
Yeah,
period.
see, only it's like Christmas is the opposite of summer, where summer's like there's no dodgeball, but all you do is like watch the Euros and stuff. And then like Christmas is like there's so much dodgeball, but you're not watching any of it.
Yeah, you're not wrong there, mate. But it's very interesting league table. Like the top four are. It's extremely interesting to see how that's going to play out.
Yeah, it's crazy the gap that they've got between fourth and fifth now.
Yeah, like you can. There's a big argument that you've got six teams kind of in a relegation battle, like
Mm,
a few upsets here and there, and you could see anybody popping out.
yeah, I feel like Sheriffs are on the up after a rough start, but
Yeah, and I think Emily was a big sign for them. Like what I watched the Sheriff's game that was on stream and heard Lauren Hems dominating the wings.
hmm
Such a difference for Sheriffs, to be honest.
God, yeah, they're both such good players.
It's,
Um,
it's good and aggressive.
mm,
Like it gives both of them more freedom to kind of bin off players and because you know that cover is going to be there and it's going to be really good cover.
but it also channels sort of the counter throwers if they're trying to
Yeah,
avoid the wingers because they're so aggressive, um, and they're pretty solid blockers. Um,
yeah,
they're trying to funnel it into that central zone, which is where more of their catches are. Like more often than not in that game, you just saw them like eating up catches in the center that were bringing back on Emily and Hems. That were just yeah, Ems and Hems.
Hems
On
and Hems.
yeah.
Forgot about that.
Is it Hems and Ems or is it Ems and Hems? Technically, Hems was there first, right? So, or was
Oh
she?
no! Whoa!
Yeah, I
Technically,
was gonna, I was gonna say technically.
Emily's technically was there
Sorry,
before
and
Lynn was.
shout out to Emily for actually knowing what the hell I was on about, talking about the do-si do, which
I,
is a thing.
I knew what the do do was.
Yeah, but you weren't on the podcast, were you? You left me.
No,
Zoe,
because me and Ross McGuigan used to do it whenever I played with him in
there you go.
Killers.
Yeah. Whereas, yeah, Zoe had no idea what the do was, and I was like worried I was making it up in my head. But yeah,
As you
it's
usually
like,
do, to be fair.
yeah, it's very true. But yeah, it's a rough one at the bottom. The reason we say it's rough is there is 4 points. There is 2 wins between fifth and last place. There is a singular win between a relegation point position and fifth place right now. Ouch. That is
Yeah, that's actually a bit mad.
that's mental when you think about it. And Queen
The,
Bees are in desperate need of some form because they won two big matches at the beginning of the season and haven't won anything since.
yeah, it's honestly like losing Emily and Zoe to transfers has had a massive knock-on effect
Mm,
to the Queens. I think they're still trying to find their style of play, um, and having people kind of missing meets as well has been a slight issue. But I backed them to pick up another win or two before the end of the season to
oh yeah,
secure
definitely.
safety. Like they're starting to find their form of training and a bit more synergy again.
Oh,
So I
synergy.
do,
Treat me with those big words.
get those corporate words in. Um, but yeah, I'm slightly concerned. I can't lie, but I do back them to pick up one or two wins before the end of the season. It's just it's what Storm 2 are gonna do, because with the likes of Tamara, Katie, and there's a few other ones that have played uh, Storm 1 before and played very well. Like they can take points off of a lot of teams. So it's gonna be, can Queens outrun them basically. Uh, from Manchester point of view, I kind of want to see Rangers, Sheriff, Storm 2 all dropping more points as the league meets go on. I want to see a few draws in there. Can't lie. Uh, Try and take a bit of pressure off us. It's just, yeah, like I said, it was a bad time to lose to your arguably two best players at the time. Definitely form wise, were the two best players at the time.
Mm,
So hopefully that they can turn the momentum into some wins, because I seen them play against Beagles a couple of meets ago, and there were some incredible players. I think we only lost by like one or two sets.
yeah.
So there's a squad in there. There's definitely a squad in there capable of staying out of the relegation zone.
We are in severe danger of turning this podcast into a bees podcast, but um, it's only because they've been actually quite interesting teams to talk about. Like that and Spartans, like those two teams we've talked about so much this season already. It helps
So
when you've got five squads.
I was gonna say, like, that's the big thing, isn't it?
Yeah, five squads, and they're in they're all in different leagues. So you got six, 5 out of 6 leagues covered.
It's just I think it's just mad that there's no team that you're not keeping an eye on in this league,
Mm,
because you've got the top four have an incredible race for top of the league. Like one of the very strong teams going to miss out in the medal, guaranteed.
yeah. Do you
Um,
think we're going to see? So last year we saw 5 teams with the potential opportunity to win on the last day. We currently have 4 teams with the potential to win at the moment. It's not looking like it's going to be 5. Do you see those 4 teams staying as it is, or do you think someone's going to drop off and it's going to be a top 3 race?
oh, that's a great question. I don't.
Because like looking at it,
I, I'm I'm
for
really I'm
the
really shocked. I'm shocked by the inconsistency with um, Spartans and um, Bedford Eagles. Uh, I I really don't know. It's a great question.
who have Derby drawn to? Derby drew to Spartans, was it? That
No,
was
the beat Spartans, didn't they? Valkyries must have been.
Didn't Valkyries just draw to Spartans just then?
Oh yeah, so it must have been Storm then, because that's the only other team that's drawn.
Yeah. So yeah, Storm. So Storm draw to Phantoms. Spartans, Valkyries have drawn, but then Beagles have lost to Phantoms. So sorry, Beagles have lost to Spartans and Valkyries. Valkyries have lost to Phantoms. Spartans have lost to Phantoms. It's just a bit hectic, to be honest, that because that means Beagles beat Phantoms. Like it is a bit of a try. If Storm hadn't have got that draw, it could be very different because we could be looking at Phantoms with 8 wins. Um, it's just whether or not can Spartans, Valkyries, and Eagles catch up to Phantoms and get a win
Yes.
against them. And I think the answer is fairly yes, but they haven't yet. I mean,
No, they've made it difficult for themselves in some of the matches, but like I watched them against what was it, Spartans. I was commentating with Zoe, and they're really smart. Like I love really like smart dodgeball in terms of like when to go aggressive, when to play defensive. Like game management is I love it. Chef's kiss. Like and all that jazz, you know. And I think having the discipline that they've got across all of their teams, to be honest, like I could see Derby using that to their advantage and taking the league. It's just whether can Spartans, Beagles, or Valkyries step up and take points off them.
I think it's Derby's to lose.
Yeah, 100%, hundred
I
percent.
yeah, I think that when I say that, I think it's Derby's to lose. I think it's totally within the realm of possibility that Spartans, Valkyries, and Eagles can win it. I don't think it's necessarily
I could
like
easily see all three of them beating Derby, potentially
yeah,
beating
yeah. Like
Derby. Like
I can see Derby losing to all three of them, and not being an upset, as it were. But I think it's
yeah,
fair to say that the advantage is to Derby at the moment. Like they have definitely proved themselves to be top at the halfway point, which is worth going on to because who have they not played yet? It would help if I don't show the table again. Um, they
forgot to
have
show.
not played. They have not played Beagles, so that is the last game.
Interesting.
So that yeah, that probably explains it then. So if geez, yeah, the result of that one could be really interesting to see what will happen going forward. Because if at the moment Beagles have only lost to the teams above them and they haven't played Derby yet, so if we're going to go off like what makes sense, it makes sense that Derby would win that. But
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
still a really big game, and you can't count out my Eagles. Oh, it's
Definitely
going to
not.
be exciting. It's going to be exciting. There's nothing else on. There's no Men's League 3 on the other courts. So if you are around at lunchtime, there are some big Women's Super League games to watch. And definitely one of the courts will be streamed. And if everyone else isn't piling onto the other court to watch, I'll be shocked. But yeah, it means that we can have. To be fair, it means because we've got the side courts free. It means we can all have sideline spectators on the side.
Very true. Very
So
true.
that'll be good fun. Um, any other matches that you think will be interesting or worth
Storm
keeping an
2
eye on?
Raptors.
Yes.
That jumped out at me because that gives Storm a really because Queens have a very difficult set of fixtures.
Hmm.
I struggle to see them coming away with a win there. So I reckon Storm 2's opportunity to hop out of the relegation zone potentially.
Yep. Yeah. Can see that happening. Or
Mm.
Raptors. I mean, they only beat Raptors by 2 sets, so
You could easily
you
see
could easily
Raptors.
see
I
Raptors
don't know. I
winning
don't know. I don't know the set difference is like. But
and burying the two of them.
makes it could very much be. Oh, you'd love. Oh, honestly, you would love to see a double Storm loss. I can't lie. To Raptors. That would always be fun, wouldn't it?
Double
Fun for the
Storm. I want
spectators.
Yeah, Raptors beating Storm 1 and Storm 2. Can you imagine the
Yeah,
absolute
yeah,
scenes of
yeah.
go like
That would be great.
beating Storm 1 and
No, it
that
makes it because
that would
if
put them
Raptors
above
win
Storm. If Valkyries then beat Storm and Raptors do the double over Storm 1 and Storm 2 this league meet, that would put them above Storm 1.
That'd be mad. But yeah, no, Raptors could easily put them Storm 2 and Queens on 4 points. It would make it very interesting. Makes every game that they're involved in extremely important. Extremely. So yeah, no, it'll be an interesting watch. I could even argue that the Storm 1 Valkyries game is going to be a good watch because you never know with Storm 1 what who's going to turn up for one for the first team. If they get their full squad, like if Valkyries are having one of those weird inconsistent days, like you don't be shocked to see an upset there.
Yeah, I think a game that we've actually overlooked is Rangers Sheriffs because they're 5th and 6th at the moment.
Yeah,
both
true.
tied on 6 points. Whoever wins that is, has advantage for the mid-table and finishing in the top 5 going forward. And you don't necessarily back either of those teams to win their second match of the day. So that could be a really big game actually. I think that was Zoe's preferred match to catch, but
if assuming Sheriffs have their full squad, I could see with the momentum they've been building since Emily's come back, like I wouldn't be shocked to see them giving Beagles a good game.
Interesting. I definitely would back Sheriffs to beat Rangers. I think Rangers have done really well this season so far.
I really think Sheriffs are going to beat Rangers.
Yeah, especially with the Sheriffs' upward trends. But having said that, I do think Rangers have played well to be where they are at the moment.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I don't think they've played bad. I just think they're just a level below the teams that are above them. And I think, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it makes you wonder. I slightly changed the subject. It just makes you wonder how the hell Storm have gone to 7th.
It's a mix of like an inconsistent squad. I say a mix. It's
Have
mostly
they
been
had
that.
that inconsistency? I don't think they've had too many change arounds, have they? Like the second team's
Well,
been pretty much
they
the same
lost
team.
Bignell and Meg White
Yeah, but like they've had the
to
same
Spartans.
team to gel with, and that this is a team that's drawn to Phantoms, so they have the ability to go toe to toe with top of the table, and then they've only won 2 games.
Like you're kind of thinking of them as the Storm from last season though, because Beth Redmond's also injured. She hasn't come back yet, unless she was there at the last meeting. I didn't see.
I don't know.
But Beth's been out. Like three out of the 8 of their main squad last year is not there. Like I know they brought in Meg's played really well for them, to be fair. But I don't think she replaces that number of first team players, to be honest. Like
Yeah, no,
don't know.
I was
It's just,
thinking it more like I don't think they've as a team throughout the season have changed that much. They've changed from last season, but they've had a pretty consistent, as far as I'm aware.
yeah, but I don't. I look at their starting 6 and I don't see enough quality there to go toe to toe with the top 4. To be honest, I think they're about
But they've
where
still
they
got a
should
draw
be.
against Phantoms. That's my point. Is they still got a draw against Phantoms, even though.
Yeah, but you're always gonna have one-off games like that, though, aren't you?
Maybe, but I definitely
Maybe.
compared to the rest of the teams in that group, like that bottom 6, bottom 5, bottom 6, yeah, bottom
No,
6.
bottom 6, yeah.
Um, like none of them have come particularly that close to the top 4 in their results, in my opinion. And Storm are the only ones that have drawn.
No, Storm got unlucky with the time they played Queens, because Queens, that was they played Queens first meet where they had Emily, Zoe, and
True.
and stuff. So that was a bad time. Like compared to the rest of the season, there was a bad time.
So okay, maybe Storm like pick up an extra win in the second half then and make it a little bit more. I don't know. It's just an interesting one because like I'm surprised Storm have only won 2 matches. Is I guess my point.
Yeah, but I'd be shocked if they don't beat Stafford, to be honest, which will add another victory to the tally. I don't see them beating Valkyries, but
Depends what
it's
Valkyries
just
turn up.
yeah, exactly. Like you just never know what you're gonna get, are you?
Mm.
And I imagine they'll probably pick up victories later on down the line as well. Like there's still a few teams in and around them that they can definitely beat. Like I don't think it does kind of justice for how this season's going to play out fully, to be honest.
Typical Women's Super League. We don't have a clue what's going to happen.
I was really wondering where you're going to go with that there.
Anyway, moving on. Oh,
What's the match to catch?
Oh gosh, no,
Get my voiceover,
no.
voice on. That was weird.
Voice
Just stop
over
listening to
voice
me.
on. Yeah. We do
Oh my
apologize for the
god.
quality of the content today. And we've come back from Christmas.
I still feel like I'm fucking waking up, to be honest
I
with you.
know it's been a long week already, and we've only been at work for 2 days, so.
Right. Anyway,
Match to
match to
catch.
catch.
Phantoms versus Beagles, of course. For all the reasons that we talked about earlier. Do you want me to give you Bevers's and Zoe's predictions first?
No, I want you to get you to give yours right now.
Okay. Fine. Let me think about this.
Okay, fine.
I'll
Go
think
on,
about
think.
this.
Go on, think
There.
out loud. This is a
There.
podcast after all.
I thought out loud. For the audio listeners, I've picked that team.
He's picked that team that wears a certain color that he likes. That's a riddle for you.
Yeah, like I
Go
said,
on.
I
Why
think
have
it's.
you picked Wessex?
Why have I chosen Spartans too? Uh, oh god.
Oh god, right. Go
So
on.
I've picked Phantoms. I think at this point it's Phantoms to lose. So I would like to see how Beagles come out and try and beat Phantoms rather than thinking the other way around where Phantoms are the underdogs. I think this time it's Beagles that have a point to prove, and Phantoms need to maintain their form.
I personally agree. I do think Derby will probably just edge this. I think it'll be a very tight affair. I would imagine I see Derby win this probably by about 2 sets.
I see it being in all honesty, I see it being a draw. Unless it's
such a cop out. Jeez.
Well, I've backed the team, haven't I?
Yeah, but it's like if I could say, but it could be a draw. So like
Could
you've
be a
covered
draw.
yourself for two thirds.
Hey,
of the,
if it's a
the
draw, we
options.
still win. Both of us still win. You know those are the rules.
Yeah, well, yeah, we do probably need. I'll probably be revised for next season, to be fair. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I just made those rules up on the spot. No consultation
Yeah,
whatsoever.
literally.
You know what? Actually, it's really weird. We've all backed Derby.
It's really weird to back the team that hasn't been beaten this season to win. What a shock.
Okay, but is it weird to back the team or like not back the team that is yet to lose the Super League title?
It's honestly, Derby women's team. I can never like properly get a read on them in terms of I've seen them play like some incredible dodgeball, and they 100% deserve to be top of the table because I've seen them put really strong squads in difficult matches and just go, we will beat you. And they did. Can't knock them for it. They've stopped teams playing the style of dodgeball that they're used to playing. I especially seen that whenever I watched them against Spartans. Like they completely controlled that game so well. I think I don't know. This might be like previous bias. Like I haven't seen them play like several seasons ago and stuff like that. That I'm thinking, oh yeah, I could really see Beagles being in this, but I don't know. I could like that Beagle squad has some incredible players on it. Like the experience in that squad is second to none. So I honestly could see Beagles walking away with a victory, and as you said, it could be a draw. There's all your bases covered, sir.
Yeah, could be an interesting one. Anyway, that's it. That's all the leagues.
That's it. Let's wrap up. Go home.
Just end there.
Right. And if you disagree with anything we said, please yell at Nick.
Blame Zoe for not calling us out on it by not being here.
Yeah, actually, 100%. And I probably should apologize that you've missed out on you know, the leader of the group in terms of Zoe and ball knowledge.
Yeah, yeah. Actually,
Just remember, we always say Zoe knows ball.
Zoe knows ball. I mean, yeah. To be fair, like one day we will get the three of us back on the podcast again, because this is now the third podcast in a row. It's just been two of us.
I know. I'm sorry.
We'll get the gang back together at some point. I'm starting to think that like
we
Colm and Zoe
are
just
still
have,
friends, believe it.
I think Colm and Zoe just have a bit of a feud, and they just don't want to be like on the podcast at the same time. Like Zoe knew Colin was going to back out of this one, and Zoe's just like, "Oh, I got a thing on tonight. Can't do it." Like, oh yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be really awkward being Zoe in the same car on Sunday. So, God help Emily.
Oh, that would be just whatever you do not break down on the motorway again, please.
But it'd be pretty damn scary if it was for my sake, considering how I'm first up playing.
Yeah. Yikes.
Oh God, yeah, scary times.
Anyway, please give us a like on this video. If you're listening on podcast, give us a review, preferably a 5-star review, but let us know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We will have more content.
Subscribe.
We will have more content coming up, and hopefully we'll be more prepared when we haven't been drinking and just want to talk about dodgeball. We will be more prepared for the next one and actually watch the tape, and hopefully all three of us will be here.
And Happy New Year as well.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Yeah, so I'm not sure if you read. Oh, the other dodgeball news that we didn't cover. So British Dodgeball released their newsletter earlier today. But so there's come join in festivals, they're calling them. So there's for opportunities for new clubs to play throughout the UK in new leagues, or not leagues, but they're opens essentially. But it's for new teams and stuff. So if you're doing that, and they also suggested that we all make New Year's dodgeball resolutions. I'm yet to make mine.
No, they did not.
Probably winning some matches will go down well for my team.
Beating Leeds, that's mine.
It's got to be new.
Oh yeah, sorry. Been there, done that.
Yeah. Got the video evidence.
I think we've got 3 different views of it as well. You got yours, ours, and then the stream.
I think ours mysteriously disappeared. Anyway, cool. Yeah, and go follow us for all the good memes on Instagram and all the leaderboards.
The meme queen will return at some point.
Yeah, and I have listened to the responses. I will try and get who's refereeing what matches onto the graphics at some point, but this week.
Are you actually?
I'm going to try. Yes, I'm playing around with some assets.
Mate, you are insane.
Oh, it's just got no life clearly.
You said it, not me. You said it, not me.
As shown by the fact that both of us are here and Zoe's the one that's out.
Yeah, literally. We need a reminder to take our shots as well.
Yeah. All right. See you next time.
Bye.